want to know, is it just me? Or as you get older, have you noticed how time has changed? When we were younger, summer seemed endless. Christmas seemed like it took forever for it to get here. A school year felt like a lifetime. Even waiting for your birthday seemed like it took forever. But now, you blink and it's Friday. You thought it was Monday. It's Friday. What is that? You look at the calendar and think, didn't this month just start? It's almost the end of June. I remember flipping the calendar over. And one thing I've noticed, time is going so fast that when I start to do something now, what I'm thinking I've done, I did it yesterday. It's like, what is going on? If you're feeling like I am, you're not alone. This is the why it feels that everything is going fast. When you're younger, you're experiencing your first love, your first job, your first home. And these things get embedded in your brain because they're the first time that you've experienced these things. When we experience things, our brain pays very close attention to these new experiences. That's why you can always remember a lot of people can remember the first time they did anything. But once you continuously do it, it's a repetition. So it's just like it goes like that. We create vivid memories when we do things for the first time that they're embedded in your brain. It's like I can remember my phone number from where we used to live when I was a child. I still remember that phone number. As a matter of fact, my son called it and a lady picked up. And I can remember conversations that were had for the first time. And it just let me know that when we get older, we don't have a lot of new experiences. Being older is definitely a new experience for me that I'll never forget. Because when you're younger, you never really think about getting old. And then when you get older, you can't believe you're older. So I just thank God for letting me be able to recognize the differences in being younger and being older. The thing about it, if you've had a good childhood, you can go back and recreate so many of those good memories. And I have so many good memories as a child. But I don't remember a lot of memories in my 20s or my 30s. And you would think I would, because those were first experiences. But I don't really remember a lot between my 30s and my 20s and my 40s, I'll say. That's where I don't remember a lot of what was going on. I was just kind of going through the motions of taking care of children, figuring out what's going on in a marriage. So it wasn't a lot of great things, I guess, going on at that time. Or it wasn't a lot of things that were embedding in my brain. I was just surviving, in a sense, trying to figure out how to raise kids by myself and making sure they had a home, a place to call home. You ever notice that sometimes you can get a whiff of something from the past and it brings all these memories back to you? That's interesting. I've had that happen a few times where I got a smell of a cologne or a perfume, and my mother used to wear Estee Lauder, and she would get it from Hudson's. I would love to smell that again, and I'm sure I'd probably shed a tear because it would remind me of my mother. Back then, life was just so beautiful, where you're learning new things and trying different things. And then as you get older, you just kind of fall into a rut. And so I guess what I want to tell you guys is, no matter how old you get, try and make some firsts for yourself. Have you ever colored in a coloring book? That could be a first. And it's relaxing too. And you know they do have adult coloring books. I don't know why. That's just a childhood memory of mine, is coloring books. My mom would always go to the Five and Dime and get us coloring book and crayons constantly. We had coloring book and crayons for every program we watched. We had the Flintstones. We had Speed Racer. We had some, I remember, a Adam and Eve coloring book, a biblical coloring book. It's so weird how you can remember those childhood things, but then as you get older, you don't remember what's going on in your life. But that's because, you know, our life can just become so hectic, I guess, and we're just trying to get through it. And as you get older, you just start living through those routines. Wake up, go to work, cook dinner, get the kids out from school, get the kids up for school, and you're just running on a routine. Nothing's really detouring from that routine, so it's nothing, no type of first going on, so you don't really think about it like that. Routines are comforting to us because we don't really have to think about it. We just do it, which makes your mind stop creating those first memories. You're going on a routine. You're no longer creating those moments that are ingrained in your brain. And then before you realize it, a whole decade has gone by and you try and think back, what was going on at that time? It's just like time passed and you had no idea what was going on. But something important to know is that because time is passing so fast doesn't mean something is coming to an end. It simply means that life is asking us to pay attention. Don't let the routines control your life. Veer from those routines every now and then and create a memory. Because the moments we remember aren't always big moments. They can be little moments, but they're so wonderful that you have to remember them. Certain conversations with certain people, it's embedded in your brain. I have memories of each of my children being born. They're embedded in my brain. My grandchildren, embedded in my brain. I know exactly what was going on each time each one was born. Conversations with old friends that you hadn't had in a while, and you have those conversations, is embedded in my brain. So as we get older, we have to create those special first moments. Have you ever sat out in the morning with a cup of coffee and watched the sun rise? Or have you ever gone out in the evening to watch the sun set? You know, I haven't done that, so that might be a first for me to do. Or just sitting quiet and realizing you have a great life and you're grateful for that great life. I do that. I'm amazed at my life. It's nothing special, nothing grand, but I am amazed at my life. It's so peaceful. It's so wonderful, and I love it. I appreciate it, and I'm getting glassy-eyed because I've never experienced this much peace in my life. If Bebe was snoring, you'd hear it right now. But it's so quiet. It's so peaceful. And I like it. I really like it a lot. Maybe that's why people say life goes by fast. Not because the clock speeds up or the world is going faster, but because we become so busy that we forget to notice the special moments in everything that we do. Everything becomes a routine, so we stop creating those magnificent memories. So the next time you go to make a cup of coffee, think about what you're doing. Don't let it be a routine. Look at the coffee that's going into your pot or your cup and think, wow, this is nice. This is something enjoyable. Your tea, your milk, whatever you're pouring, just look at it and think, this is fabulous. We have to stop taking everything for granted and just assume that this is how it should be. We make our life what we want it to be, hopefully. And that's the good news about it. We can slow things down. We can slow it down. But just by trying something new, we can slow the clock down so that that's a moment that we experience. That's a moment that we lock into our brains. Just try something new. Or when you're doing something, really think about what you're doing. Don't let it just be a routine that you just go through and don't think anything about it. Focus on what you're doing. Create a memory out of it. When you're going home from a grocery store, detour. Take a different way home. Look at the scenery. Or stop at a park and walk around for a little bit. Change your routine. Learn a new hobby. Try something that you always wanted to do and do it. You know what? I want to do pottery because I remember doing it in high school and putting your hand down in the thing and digging through the clay or whatever to create something. I would like to do that. I feel like I'd have a better grasp on how to create something now than I used to. So I would like to do a pottery class. I guess I got to find one now. It's like whatever you do, be fully present in that moment. That way you get to slow time down and create a moment that you can remember. And maybe that's the lesson here. Life isn't measured by how fast time goes by, but the memories you create in that passing time. So let's start making some memories now as we get older. Create new memories. Because have you ever met someone and they talk about the past constantly? They never talk about anything in the present. Everything is about the past. And that's why, because the past had those first moments, those first memories. And it's like they're just living life now and all they have to reflect on is the past. So as we get older, let's start making new memories. I do have a new memory. I remember having my first camp out about a year ago. That was a first for me. I've never camped outside before. So I guess I'm doing what do you say? I'm not just talking the talk. I'm walking the walk. Whatever I talk about, I'm trying my best to do it. So you guys listen to what I'm saying. Get out there and create yourself some new memories in your older age. Something you can reflect back on rather than going back to childhood when everything was the first thing you ever did. As you get older, make something the first thing you ever did. That's the message for this video. Create your first. No matter how old you get, you can always make a first. So if this message spoke to you, understand what I'm getting at, leave me a comment. Let me know some of the things that are your first after 50, after 60, after 70, after 80. Let me know what some of your firsts are. Leave it in the comments. And if this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Like the video, hype the video, share the video. And I appreciate you all, my angels. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.